let's record this. As it starts to good aloha once again. This is Kamaili with Wellness with Mana. I just started the recording again, but we're talking about the power of nutrigenomics, and as it really starts to, dive into the mainstream, if you will, of how we're approaching health and how we're actually taking advantage of now studies and research that allows us to really talk to our bodies and go into our bodies to flip on switches to really give us back the power that we were given at birth, that God-given power, that God-given right to really express ourselves as not only individuals, but also as unique as humans, where we all systematically kind of have a lot of the same little schematics going on within our bodies, chemically as well as genetically. We can help to modify by talking to our bodies the way that uh, they're designed to be spoken to, if I could. So, if I will. So, I want to start this conversation out a little bit differently than I always do. And of course, I'll go into my story, but I want to ask everyone some rhetorical questions, that you can ask yourself as I share them with you. And it's just as simple as asking yourself, are you unfulfilled? Are you that person, that mom, that dad, that just human that goes over and beyond to really helping to give back, to others in just small ways? But the last person that you give to is yourself. Are you that person that has been ignoring maybe some knocks on the door, some pounds on the door, some, really revelations, some, whispers from friends and family about, bettering your life, or even taking a look at your own health because they can see that you're overly stressed and they want to reach out to help, but you just don't know how? You've been ignoring those because, nah, I got it. And are you somebody that's really sacrificing maybe your own dreams because there's no way out? You just feel like you're just scratching to the surface to keep your head above water. I'm asking you that because that particular person was me. That was somebody that I I don't even think I could get myself off the floor most days. I mean, it seems unrealistic, and you pick yourself up. You're a warrior. You're like, okay, this is not going to get to me. But in the quiet of the night, in the still moments in between all of the busyness, there was just those times of just feeling that mental and emotional and physical fatigue, and it was just like, how am I going to resurrect myself into, being great again? Because I know I'm great. It's in there somewhere, but I'm bombarded by being, for me, it was a new mom, and taking on those responsibilities. I literally was giving him the food, the good food before, myself. I was giving all to my relationship, but then there was just so many different factors that were just bringing it down. And my heart was heavy. My finances were at its all-time low. In fact, I had to, because of my business went under, I had to file bankruptcy. And still to that moment, I mean, to share that is so vulnerable. And I share my vulnerability because most of us, every time I share it, I get so much feedback that that's my story. That's so similar to my story. It's not exactly the same, but man, I really relate to you. And I say all of these things because the action that I hope that maybe changes your perspective and your trajectory into your life is to truly take a look at, first and foremost, taking control of your health. I listened to a talk not a short while back, and it was a main presenter, Grant Cardone talk event, and he said he owned, world's largest jet company or something, he had brilliant things to say. And he said, but at the end of the day, you guys, I'm a normal human being. And he goes, if I go to my son's baseball game and I have a migraine and I can't even be present or pay attention or even enjoy what's going on because I didn't take care of my health. He's like, nothing else is worth it. And that's how I feel. Like nothing else is as important as taking control of your health. And I really share that because that's what I did. I was literally at the ground on the ground and scraping for and I was like, okay, if I just get omega 3s, my brain will start working right and I can make healthier decisions for myself and my son. I can, start to, maybe figure out ways where I can pull in extra money here and there because there's no way I was going back to the 9 to 5 or even back to my other job. So without further ado, I'm going to share with you, and I hope you keep your options open because this is powerful science that is moving us forward into future generations of not only living longer, but living longer in ultimate health. So I hope I'm piquing your interest in what's to come, and I'll share a little bit about the science. Might skip over a few slides here and there, but oh, is it hard to hear? Okay, hold on. I don't know. I don't know how to change that. Is anybody else you're okay? All right. Arturo, I'm so sorry yeah, the camera's off. That's totally fine. So anyway, let me share my slides. I'll go into what kind of happens on the insides of our bodies and why taking a look at nutrigenomics is so important to really giving us not just our supplements, not just our foods, which are huge, but truly giving us a huge leg up to help our bodies really turn on again those God-given abilities to ward off illness and disease. And we all know we're being faced with so many these days. So um, I'll start my share here. And like I said, I might skip over a few here and there just for time's sake. I want to keep this at a good 30 minutes. But of course, this has been something that I've always preached. I think we all preach this. Let's build wellness rather than treating disease. Another little story is one of my best friends, 51. She's healthy. She runs every day. She's a healthy eater, vibrant woman. All of a sudden, one day, she has a headache and she goes into the emergency because something's wrong, and she's had a stroke, brain hemorrhage. And even though she's had, great healthcare coverage, being working for a large company, she's now $20,000 in debt because of her portion of, you know, being, treating really disease and the illness at hand. So this is why I get so passionate about it. Doesn't only cost us our finances, but it definitely costs us so much in the way of our own health, and the ones that we love around us, supporting us, their health as well. So let's build wellness rather than treating disease. This is where I get really proud. I join arms as well as whoever it is that invited you to this call with a company called LifeVantage. We have been at the forefront of nutrigenomics for the last 12 years now, going on 12 years this summer. We have rang the NASDAQ. We're publicly traded. We are the ones that came out with the first theory of aging and really not attacking, I don't like that word. We're really approaching aging through the lens of seeing, why do we age? I don't want to start to cure all these things. I want to know why we start to decline because of all these illnesses and diseases. And that started in a laboratory, which was really important. It wasn't a company that said, hey, what can we come out and bring out to the world and capitalize? Because of course, we're sharing it through direct marketing, through network marketing, because the story needs to be told. But it was actually really looked at for decades by a doctor named Dr. McCord, and he went the pharmaceutical route, didn't like what he saw as far as the results, ended up partnering with Ayurvedic doctors, and him and his team actually came out with something where we're combating that first theory of aging, and it's called oxidative stress. And that's what I get so excited about when I share this information. So today we're going to dive into the three theories of aging. So from his theory of aging, way back when he started to actually release this back in 2005, it really became mainstream because as he proclaimed, like, hey, I've got the fountain of youth, like, look at me. He, thought, oh, as a businessman, as a scientist, he thought, oh, I'm going to put it on the shelves of GNC, of all these, high health, all of these big organizations. It's going to be the new phenomenon. Nobody knew it next to the vitamin C that it was sitting next to. It was just another quote unquote antioxidant that nobody understood the story. So when the story got out, you guys, what they did was John Quinones, actually a member of Primetime ABC Primetime Report, he actually went in to debunk Dr. McCord and his findings and this team. And what he found was that instead of 30 days reducing his oxidative stress by over 40%, it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and he turned that blood, they liken it to being uh, brought back to the stage as if he was a newborn infant. It had reduced by 45%, and he felt amazing. And that's where the story began, and that's why we're here sharing this story with you. So since then, we've really been again at the forefront and have looked at other theories of aging, such as mitochondria and now NAD. And so we're going to quickly go over all of those just to highlight some of the things that happen within our body. So this quickly, this is our world today. We're, not eating right. We're on too many devices, obviously still dealing with the pandemic, too much money at the end of the month, or too much month at the end of the money, as Daisy always says. And of course, most of us are exhausted because of that mental fatigue. What all of this is saying is that low grade level of stress is truly gnawing and eating away at our cellular behavior and our genetics that we want to express. And that's where our company comes in and provides a beautiful solution that is not matched by any other, you guys. I'm so excited. So basically, that oxidative stress that I mentioned, it's kind of like this car. It's sitting here, it's no longer in use, it's no longer running, it's probably not going to get back to that stage. That's oxidative demise. So basically, we're kind of rusting as this car is from the inside out. Okay, so here it is in writing. Oxidative stress is truly an imbalance, okay, between the production of free radicals, which our bodies produce, due to things that we take in, our foods, how we exercise, our meditation, all of those daily beautiful practices that we do. We can help to balance out those free radicals by producing our own antioxidants. Well, when we start to age, that actually starts to decline our inability to actually detoxify or neutralize those free radicals. And so we're left with actually, get this, over 300 sextillion amount of free radicals damaging our cells daily. Okay, so and picture that. And here's a picture that helps you to picture that. Beautiful apple. That's our God-given cell. This beautiful cell. We leave it on the counter for, gosh, minutes, after cutting it open. What happens? Turns brown, right? That's oxidation happening. That's the free radicals. The oxygen is trying to pair up with another molecule, and it starts to attack the integrity of the cell. What we don't want to happen, you guys, is this last cell. That is the demise. Again, there's that car sitting in the forest not being able to be used. What happens is that cell either dies off, and we just start to see big things happening, maybe cognitively, maybe in one of our systems or our organs, or we start to see it split off, and that oftentimes becomes cancerous. That's what we're trying to avoid and actually get back to this healthier state of this beautiful apple. So I'm not gonna lie, you can access your pathways through the foods that we eat. So I love coaching on this. I'm like, please eat foods that are high in proteins and amino acids. Obviously, antioxidants, we've been told that for years. Rich foods are definitely cruciferous foods, definitely going to help to boost our body's ability to build up those antioxidants, right? And all of our systems, truly. But what we know is eating is just not enough. You can see here some of the statistics of what we'd have to take to even try to combat the 300 sextillion amount of free radicals damaging our cells daily. It's like that 1-to-1 ratio. So we've always been told, hey, take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. That's literally going to cancel out in this 1-to-1 ratio 1,000 free radicals. So I've said the number quite, a couple of times now. So if you can imagine, it's literally like putting out this huge inferno of inflammation going on within our bodies with a little Dixie cup of water. So when we can get in front of that and get the right tools in our body to actually bring in the fire hose, we're in good shape. And that's what we're promoting today. So it's called activation. We're actually activating the cell versus supplementation. So real quickly, if you can imagine, this little yellow pill is our herbal combination of the herbs that we found. And this one is talking about activating the NRF2 pathway. That's what Dr. McCord had initially found out is going to talk directly to that cell. Here's how food goes in, okay, or supplements that you're normally taking. It goes in the back door. That's how researchers and scientists explain it. So when you go in the back door, you're hoping that your gut microbiome is set up correctly and that your gut, you're not one of the 86% of people walking around with a gut, some sort of gut issue and leaky gut syndrome. So instead of going in that back door and just hoping that our systems are actually taking and absorbing and using all those yummy nutrients that we're getting from a proper diet, right? That's number one. This just talks directly to it. It's food, it's live, it's working with us, synergistically in our bodies, but it bypasses that back door and goes straight to the front door. The cell lets it in because it recognizes it and flips on these switches. Okay, so we're going in, we're finding where the power source is actually starting to dim or no longer, lighting up. We're going to go on, turn on that switch, and then we're going to activate it. And this NRF2 pathway activates actually our ability to make a million, what is it? A million antioxidants per second per cell is what the information that I've been taught. And that is amazing. And that is actually documented on something called pubmed.gov. I'll get into that in a minute. But what we can do with these 5 powerful herbs, turmeric, milk thistle, green tea, bacopa, ashwagandha, you guys, like a colleague of mine that actually has joined LifeVantage, she said, I thought juicing was it. She's I think a chiropractor, Nanette, a chiropractor. She was well versed, or maybe it was somebody else. It's so many similar stories where they thought, I've got it. I do this, I take that, I have the nutrition. Juicing is the thing. We only need our foods. Guess what? Again, it's not enough. But when we synergistically found out through Dr. McCord's research that we can actually put these together and that they go into our bodies and talk to our cells, guess what? It increases that ratio up to 1,800 times higher to actually affect our cells' ability to turn on those switches and activate our bodies. So what we're doing through the NRF2 pathway is we're actually lowering that oxidative stress. We're actually getting ahead of the free radicals that are attacking us. And we do this by boosting our main players of our antioxidants, master antioxidants, which is glutathione by 300%. That's huge. Catalase, 54%. Superoxide dismutase by 30%. I know all of this is scientific terms, but just know that this is going into your body and really giving it the tools that it needs to really ward off and help to protect those cells and ward off anything that might be coming at it, because our immune systems are that much more adaptable to be able to respond quicker, which is amazing. This is the only supplement that's proven to extend male life in male mice by 7 years. And that was on the National Institute of Aging. That's huge. Let's live longer, healthier. Who's for that? Me. Um, I'm going to ask you one more question, and I'm going to make you think. Look at this list here on the side. Tell me, I know that you know at least one person in your immediate circle of, say, 10 that is not, that is dealing with one of these large, illnesses and diseases. These are just a small list of the ones that are found on pubmed.gov, where you can go, where our doctors go to research any sort of product or new remedy or pharmaceutical. And when you look up oxidative stress and the studies that have been done on oxidative stress, the hundreds of thousands, I'm sure, but it's related to being the root cause of over at least 250, and that's probably an old estimate, over 250 main illnesses and diseases, the root cause being oxidative stress. So you can kind of put those two together. We reduce oxidative stress is at the root cause. We are helping the symptoms, and our body's ability to actually express itself in a healthier way. Here's some of the independent research, the studies that have been done. You can see real quickly that these are main players in the organization. When they heard Dr. McCord's research, they not wanted to do research on turmeric or ashwagandha or green tea. They wanted to do it on our findings, on our product, this NRF2 breakthrough. And so we have over 26 that are noted on PubMed.gov. We have 31 papers in total. And that's because the fact that we're, again, tapping into this new technology of really understanding how to talk to our bodies and our systems, the way that we're all uniquely kind of set up, we are able to truly move forward with this technology and help our world hopefully just live a healthier, longer life, for generations to come. So, okay, real quickly, let's look at when we started to activate the NRF1 pathway. That came a little later in our company, and we started to look at mitochondria. Mitochondria, I like to show this, is actually 95% of our body's engine. It's literally like the engine block of our cells. So when we don't have our mitochondria healthy, we actually lose the ability to perform, at our best. And in fact, we'd actually die if our mitochondria was that ill, or if we didn't have any within 30 seconds to a minute. So when we, again, take all natural products, synergistically blend them in a patented formula, what we see is that we're improving sleep quality and cellular repair, cognitive brain health, cardiovascular and circulatory systems. I say sleep because most people are suffering from sleep. And if you can imagine, our bodies are like literally running marathons all night long, just to make up for the things that we've put into our bodies all day long, or the environmental stresses that we're even unaware of, that are really attacking our cells, us at a cellular level. So when we can repair on a regular, because our mitochondria are healthier, producing the energy that we need to repair, guess what we're doing at night? We're getting deep, resound sleep, and it's huge. That in particular, for a new mom, a couple of years ago, was a big deal to me, to even get 6 hours sleep. And now I'm into 7, 8 hours. I'm feeling on top of the world when I wake up, and I recover from my workouts so much quicker now that I'm activated. And the last being NAD, you guys. I know I've spoken a long time, and I want to wrap this up here soon. But again, it's all natural products coming together. NAD is amazing. It's the newest activator on our Protandem Trisynergizer line. It is based off of some research that had been done by Dr. David Sinclair when he went in to look at um, intermittent fasting, because we all know the benefits of that, right? And he actually took it a step further, caloric restriction, 500 to 800 calories per day for really long periods of time. It's miserable. He claims it's miserable, but what they noticed is that when the body went into that fight or flight, that boop, 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 we need to stay alive and survive, this molecule NAD started to increase in its production. They also noticed that that ended up feeding a family of sirtuins. The sirtuins are actually known, they're proteins, and they're known to actually be the guardian angels of our cells. They go into a cell, they can pull apart a strand of DNA. Now, this is paraphrasing from an interview that I saw from him. Go into the strand, pull it apart, fix what's defunct, put it all back together, and then vacuum out the outside of the cell, which is called, that whole process is called autophagy. And it's just amazing, and basically giving that cell life as if it really was renewed and rejuvenated, as if it was, given from birth. He hopes to live to 120, you guys. And this was a couple of years ago when I heard this, in the body of a 50, 60-year-old, body and mind. So that's amazing. That's amazing that he can literally prove today that he's personally turned back his clock by 10 years. He's 50 now, and he's proven that his blood work shows that he's fit and of a 40-year-old mind and body. So all of these together, you guys, are just really, really powerful. We talked about that in our anti-aging. That's really what our company is about. It's about aging, not only anti-aging, but aging more gracefully, aging definitely with in better health, and better strength, mentally, physically, spiritually, of course. So we talked about that today. We take our microbiome very, very seriously. Everything, as you know, probably as you probably know, starts from the gut, and making sure that that's healthy so that we can absorb all of this, even our nutritious, all natural foods that we're giving it to you via our supplements. We call them activators. It starts in the gut. So we want to make sure that that's healthy. I love that whole concept of reducing our inflammation in our gut and really making that healthy actually moved over into and spilled over into our weight management system, our fat burn, and our prebiotic, our probiotic. Now we even have a daily wellness, which is amazing, which is basically our postbiotic. So it's like compost for all of this healthy microbiome. I could go on for days. We actually have a call related to your gut. If you'd like to join in on that, please ask the person that invited you. Nootropics is amazing. Please Google that. But this is hands down my daily go-to. I wouldn't go a day without it, because I need my mental clarity and focus, because there's so much just coming at us at life on a regular basis. Hair care and skin care, you guys. If it- we don't give enough thought to these silent killers that are in our home, and that we just pick up, randomly off the shelves. Invest in, it's not even investment, it's free, in the getting the EWG app. It basically saves you from bringing home toxins and putting it on you and your loved ones, your family members. And so when we rate a 1 and a 2 on the EWG scale for both our hair care and our skin care, wow, not only are we not putting in added chemicals, but we're actually helping to add that NRF2 protection down to the fourth dermis of our skin and into our hair. You should see some of the testimonies. Our heart to heart we had today was absolutely amazing. Talking about an athlete, I would highly recommend, taking a look at some of our heart to hearts, or being live on one of our calls on Wednesdays. And then our pets, you guys, anything that breathes oxygen is going to benefit from reducing their oxidative stress. So I can't talk about that enough. Again, we have another call devoted to that, because boy, who kids and pets, you usually give to them a whole lot, quicker than you think about changing your own regime. But and basically, this is the end of my talk. We're no longer supplementing our deficiencies, no longer chasing our tails. We're literally activating our pathways to control the aging and healing processes. This is one of over 3,000 medical professionals, Dr. Brett Brimhall, who's a friend, a mentor, and a colleague in LifeVantage. And he has also linked arms because of the results he's getting with friends, family, and patients. How to get started. So bottom line, this is where I'm like, tell me the bottom line. $127.99 a month, you guys. And everybody's like, ouch, I'm not working right now. Or, oh, I'm, crunching my pennies. I ask you again, can you see if you can budget something out that you've just been even remiss about thinking that you spend that money on? It's called $4.17 per day for this Tri-Synergizer that could prevent you not only financial demise, handing out, to the medical doctors, but also stress in the future. Also, it adds to your quality of life. It's such a huge investment. And if you're really serious about investing, not only for yourself and also for your family, I would urge you to look at our bundles. We have ones that are starting from $350, $650, and $1250. You're saving up to 35% if you bundle and save. So either you can be a product of all of our amazing biohacking products and say, okay, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to, get started on feeling better, on, energizing my life, on making choices that are healthier and healthier for me, one foot in front of the other. This is certainly the way to go. The reason why we give you a start kit with that is because we give you an opportunity to share. We give you paper, we give you samples, because 60% of our customers, and it's probably more by now, actually want to share with their friends and family. We have a beautiful friends and family program where you can save $10, they can save $10. But most of all, you're sharing your story with them, because our success stories are huge. They're amazing. It brings me to tears every time I hear another one. So I'm excited to share. This is it. If you're truly interested in changing, also your financial status, I urge you in this gig economy it's not uncommon that most of us have a side hustle. I urge you to bring people to these calls, let them listen to me, let them listen to others that share their stories, and let them make a decision for themselves, and really build an extra stream of income that is going to carry you in times like these years that have gone by, where, wow, all of a sudden pandemic hits and your savings is depleted, or you lost your business, or you lost your job. All of those things are scary. And because our company is so unique, we're growing at such rapid rates. I urge you to take a look at this. It's smart business. And that's about it, you guys. I'm gonna escape from here. Stop my share. If anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. And yes, Katie's changed your sleep too. So yay. And of course, I am here and available if anybody has any questions off camera that they would like to answer, have answered. And I'm truly devoted to people's health, as I have been, most of my life. So I appreciate all of you who come every week, and all of you who keep sharing this beautiful message. And aloha, aloha.